I'm Mike, Stay Fresh, and this is the Stay Fresh Pools podcast. And it's our first episode. And I got my guy, Tom, with Microglass that's here. I'm going to introduce him. He can say, I already said what his name is, but either way, he's going to tell us what his name is and what he's about and what he brings to the table. And here we are. And it's got my guy, Tom.
I am Tom. Thank you very
Yes, you
much.
are,
I am Tom.
Tom.
I'm the other Tom Criz, the taller one. I am the national sales rep, one of the national sales rep for a great company called Microglass.
Yeah, and for the people that haven't heard of Microglass, can you give me tell them what's Microglass about? What does it do? What is the product?
Great. One of the great things to answer that question is, what we do is we really go out as a team and a corporation as far as, or a company as best practices.
Mm-hmm.
We have one of the most amazing products that's ever been created in its category for our industry. But all of our team is, we're big R&D. We want to help everybody. So it may not just be about our product. Let us help you in other places, because there's hundreds of years of experience in our company between our staff, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right. So for us at Microglass, we've got a product that changes the molecular structure of cement. Right. So what that means is the weakest part in all cement is a product called calcium hydroxide. It's the number one thing that is the most soluble part of cement. Well, what that really means is that we've all seen, a check crack, what we consider check crack on a step, right? A lot of homeowners say, hey man, there's something wrong with my pool. There's a crack. It's not actually a crack. It's calcium hydroxide releasing itself. Well, when it releases, it takes strength, it takes aggregate, it takes pigment, right? So one of the worst things we can do in the pool industry is on a brand new pool is put water in it because it instantly starts deteriorating, right? So what our product does is when it comes into contact with that calcium hydroxide, it converts over to a calcium silicate hydrate glass, right? Now, it's not going to change the look or feel of your pool. It's just going to take the weakest part of it and now make it the strongest, which is huge for the strength, huge for longevity, a major, major chemical defense, right? Let's face it, us chemistry guys, we're there one day a week.
Which is huge, that's what Stay Fresh is all about, and what we're pushing out to the world, right? Is providing longevity, and that's what got us onto Microglass in the beginning, anyways.
Sure.
Was being able to provide longevity. Before we go too in depth in that, let's go backwards a little bit and just how did Microglass get started?
Okay,
how
sure.
what did they come through? Which I already know on the weak parts and interior, but what opened them up to be like, we're on to something.
Sure.
And then let's make this happen, and how it brought you into that company and ignited you to be like, I want to be a part of this.
Okay, so great question. So back in 2003, I believe, the Army Corps of Engineers, IPSA, there was a lot of people, the great Alan Smith. They built, I believe, 13 or 14 bodies of water. This is a little before my time, but 13, 14 bodies of water at Cal Poly in California. And what they were trying to achieve is, why do pools and cement, why does it do what it does, right? So they put all these pools through, some of them through hell, cold, hot, good chemistry, bad chemistry. Why does it do what it does? So come 5-6 years later, we kind of got those results. Those results were in pretty much every bodies of water was the calcium hydroxide is one of the biggest problems, right?
Yeah.
So one of the most, if not the most brilliant person I've ever met was a man named William Reed, the creator of Microglass, right? He kind of got it in his head, I think I can fix this. Well, he did. He kind of figured that out because he's brilliant, right? So it's kind of where it got going, right? So it's been out for a very, very long time. It's just getting it out to the world of what the product does. So for me in my career, I was in the remodel game forever, at the time was building. Great friend of mine, Josh, his always been an interior finish. He understands cement. He understands interior, right? He's one of the best of the best. So he had his own remodel company at the time and got onto this product. Hey, man, you heard about this stuff? I'm like, no. And started to talk to him a little bit about it. Well, from his side of being a major guru in interior finish, and me had always leaned towards the chemistry side, you give me some samples. Make some samples for me. Let me check this out. I'm not going to lie. My backyard looked like a war zone, just like his did, right? And I'm very particular about this, of just pouring acid on them, pouring different things on them and going, holy smokes.
And seeing the difference.
It truly does work.
Yeah, you can see it. It's not something that's, you're just having faith and believing that it works. It's visible that it's actually working.
Correct.
You know, like that is also what got me, right? Was the beginning was the set and cure. Like there's tons of products that come out there, especially like products that call themselves sealants, which we'll get into with microglass. But that you just have to believe that it's working, but you won't see that it's working. And microglass set and cure is a visible difference. So for any of those guys out there that are doing remodeling or building pools, and you're not putting in microglass set and cure, I can confidently tell you that my interior is better than yours. You know, and that's just science right there. That's showing that it's true, right? Is that set and cure, because the day I put it in, and the first time I did it on Midnight Interior, which is an interior that almost every remodeler or builder is going to be like, I don't fuck with Midnight and I don't fuck with black. And the reason why they don't mess with them is because the blotchiness from natural stone that you're going to get. But if you add microglass set and cure, the next day after you acid wash it and that pool is full with water, you will be mind blown on the uniformity of the color. Your crew will tell you how much easier it was. Like I'm telling you all this stuff that you already know, obviously. But we're trying to show everybody in the world what it's about and raising the bar with that. So it's not something, as I say it, and Tom, you keep talking about it, you know, to believe in it. It's not something that you just have to go in blindly with faith. You'll actually see that the product works, whether it's set and cure or if it's a spray and roll.
And it's not a cure-all.
No.
Right? We still have to follow best practices. And one of the things, the first time I ever met you, you know, it's not a cure-all. We're just a big piece of a puzzle.
Yeah.
But to get to the end result, a lot of those pieces of puzzles have to be put together, right? We're just a piece of the puzzle. Right. So, you know, and backing up a little bit, when I first had seen this, when I had talked to Josh, he gave me a sample. I wanted to show that it didn't work. Like, oh, give it to me. I'm a chemistry dude. I'll tear it up. And I was like, boy, I've sure done a lot right here.
And it's still
I've never seen any other product be able to take what I just did. And a lot of things we have to stay away from. You don't pour acid straight down a wall. No. Right? So, but if I did that on this, and I'm not implying we should still do that, following best practices, I'm just simply saying that I wanted to see what could really destroy this, right? And the results that we have got across the board, even with myself, to convince myself, like, yeah, it really does work.
Yeah, and to chime in, and also too with like microglass, what opened you guys up, aside from your incredible product that is provided, but to go into the process of acid washing that you guys do? You know, because obviously our process that we now teach to everybody, and again, as we talked about it earlier, people, when they look at it, they're like, I have to pay to go to your class. Well, no, you're not paying to go to my class. You're paying to make money. Like, so you're not paying, you're making money to come to my courses.
You're investing in yourself.
Right. So, but we also learn that from you guys. And where did that come from? Where did that process come from to start implementing it when you're doing microglass?
You know, it's experience, I think, across the board. I think it's at some point we all fail somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But it's what you learn from them, right? So, learning from like Josh and how he sees that brain of his, where he sees, okay, there's a better way. There's got to be a better way, right? So back in those days when he got his education, we acid wash out of the bowl. Well, look how bowls end up.
Right, the fire bowl method. Yeah.
Right, kind of just recycling crap. Really, right, while roaching the bowl. So Josh really started playing with this. You know what I mean? Why do it out of a bucket? It could be controlled. Well, and then the bucket developed, right? As far as how he was able to put that together.
And everything that we
went
need.
from a hose to a wand to a, you know, and so on as it progressed. And I think what he noticed, what we all notice, is that it's a controlled environment now. What if I have to take a phone call?
Exactly.
I have acid sitting in the bowl. I can't take that phone call,
Exactly.
right? But if it's controlled and you use a bucket and you have all your mixture, you're not only controlling the outcome, you're using the exact same mix
solution
across the board, even if you have to make it once or twice. Maybe it's a bigger pool and you need to fill up a 32-gallon garbage can 2 or 3 times, but it's always the same mixture.
Yep.
So you're going to get better results, right? So I think it's just that progression of it. How do you get there? You know, and it'll always still develop. It'll always change. If we stop learning, we stop moving forward, right? So big part for that.
Yeah. And I mean, can you, from like set and cure to spray and roll, can you give me an idea of like a start and finish of that product when it comes to microglass? Like when we're adding it into the interior to getting to the acid wash and applying it to the pool there as well.
Sure. So microglass and set and cure, they do the same thing.
Right.
You know, realistically, that's what they do, right? But there's 2 different applications, right? So microglass can be put on sprayed and rolled on anything new, but more existing as well. You can clean up some of these old pools and get microglass on it, right? Because it will penetrate through to the gunite. It'll penetrate all the way through to convert that calcium hydroxide over to a calcium silicate hydrate. But with set and cure, it's much easier, as you know, because you just add that to the mix.
Right.
Now it's already in there for you, right? And you've seen the results. Everybody's seen the results on, not only is it a trial aid, a pump aid, and it helps in those areas, your acid wash is easier.
Yeah.
And it's more protected if maybe you are just learning how to acid wash.
Yeah. And my color stays
Kind of gives you a little bit more of a leeway of learning the process. Like, oh, I maybe used too much acid. Doesn't mean you couldn't ruin it by doing that. It's just so much higher defense, right? Across the board, from pigment to cement to everything. So big game changer with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love everything with microglass. That's why we dove in head first into it. And we'll get in it also too, like for people that want to learn about it. Obviously, we provide training for this, and I'll let you tap in a little bit. Like if people want to, they're afraid to come to our courses and spend some money. You can give them an idea what it looks like if they want to try to go around us and go straight to microglass to see if you'll train them.
Right. And we will. I mean, that's what we've done across the nation. Our whole team has. That's what we do, right? We're always here to help people. Some of the hard part for us and some of the challenges that we have faced is it's also hard being a warranty station, so to speak, for people too, just to go out, right? But our intention was to help you in other areas to get microglass. And you've heard me say this 100 times. Be happy with your acid wash before you put it on, you know, the spray and roll, because you're going to lock a lot of that in. You know, it doesn't mean it can't be fixed. It's just much harder because now you've made that material so much stronger, right? So, you know, training with us, I mean, you know, a lot of times early on, we had to kick this off in the early years, right? Where today, it's more like, you know, hey, we will invest in you, but you got to invest in yourself, right? So crosses lines a little bit of how do we help everybody?
Yeah.
I'd love to do this with every person in the pool industry. Right. So it's just how do we get it out there a little bit more? And it's guys like you that step up, that want to do different changes. Because I've seen you make changes across the board to improve yourself way outside of even microglass.
Yeah.
Right.
Talking about that,
what we
know,
do.
like the collab, Stay Fresh is a certified microglass installer, right, in Arizona, and we provide training. So how does that collaboration help the trade overall?
Great question. I wish I had 100 of you.
Right.
Right. I think we all do. And it's given that education to not only have other people kind of have the same views, right? Like you and I have a ton of similar views. We're willing to help anybody who wants help. we're there for you, right? If we can be. So I think it's getting guys like you that came on and I know that when I refer Stay Fresh or Pool that it came to Microglass. Do you want training? Go to Mike. I get the comfort of standing back going, it's no different if I'm in the yard, if he's in the yard.
Exactly.
Because it's the same. You've learned all this, right? And it's such a great thing for me, selfishly, to sit back and go, look at these guys go.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. And my whole team views it that way. Our whole team views it that way. All the guys are so great of doing the same thing with guys across this whole nation.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get guys like you, getting these people to get, to understand the process, because it is a process. It's change. I know people don't always like change, but we have to change. We have to keep up with the changes.
Right. People are afraid of change, and
Sure.
they tend to forget that the world we live in is all about evolution and innovation.
Sure.
And we'll get in right now. I'll just ask you that too. I know you've been in the industry for a while, and what keeps you motivated, or I guess focused on innovating, like with
Sure.
yourself and the company that you're in?
Sure. I think it's a little different for everybody.
Mhm.
For me, I started off in the chemistry world. It was the first thing in my life that had really ever made that much sense when I finally started to see it. Like, that's what made sense to me. For a while, I worked for an amazing builder in Northern California because I'd never built a pool before, but I'd been a remodel salesman forever. I can tell you, I can sell it, but doesn't mean you know how to do it, right?
Mhm.
So I got that experience to move forward with that. I even did a tour through distribution at my time of, understanding how that works a little bit, to move forward starting from chemistry, going to the remodel world, being able to build a pool, coming on a great national company of Microglass and
Right.
getting that, it gets me to meet phenomenal people, right? And moving forward like that got me to meet guys like you, got me to meet all these other people in different states,
Mhm.
So that's the biggest joy for me, is to get to go, and I helped that guy,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that guy helped me,
Yeah, what kind of
right?
what advice would you give to any technicians or business guys that are wanting to get into the industry or possibly elevate their skills or reputation
Sure.
in the industry that they're in?
Be willing to step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable sometimes.
Growth
We all
comes
have
from
that.
that. Yeah.
We all have that, right? If you're someone coming into our industry, or maybe you've been here for 30 years, take some classes. You're not going to learn 100%. The goal is, if you learn one thing, you furthered yourself,
Mhm.
right? But you have to be able to willing to get out there and try this stuff.
Mhm.
Take a class, learn from somebody else. Everything that I have in all my brain that I've learned in this industry was from somebody else,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. How can people learn more about Microglass or possibly get in contact with somebody at Microglass?
There's a lot of ways, but one of the first ways I would say is scroll through our website, go
Mhm.
through it, kind
Yeah.
of look at it, our videos, our testimonials, our training, our supply list that we acid wash with, right? I
Mhm.
mean, there's a wonderful fella named Patrick that works at our company that's put his heart and soul in all of this stuff of getting that information out and contacting us,
Mhm.
word of mouth, give us a call, we answer,
Yeah.
right? None of us may be able to drop what we're doing and drive right to you, but let's put a plan together. Let's get you involved. Guys like you. Sometimes I can't be in Arizona all the time. Call Mike at Stay Fresh. Call this guy. Call this
Yeah.
guy. They're great at what they do. You can learn from them as well.
Yeah.
So it's sharing all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, right? You see
Right.
me sharing, and it's all about raising the bar. I want
Sure.
to see that the pool industry elevates to a level that it should be at. You and I talk about this 100 times too, is that Arizona is the mecca of pools,
Mhm.
but we are on the bottom of the totem pole.
Sure.
Why are we on the bottom of the totem pole? Because people can wake up every morning, become a fucking pool guy, and just wing it,
Sure.
and there's no standards, and they just keep doing it, and they get caught up in that GSD mentality, what is get shit done mentality,
Sure.
which is great until it's not, and you start missing out on innovating and being better. Like, we go over this and over this, like, when I tell people about our detailed acid washing and microglass training, and they're afraid to invest in themselves to do it because they already do acid washes and they don't have any problems with the acid washes they do. And the reason I talk about it and try to push people towards it is because not because I'm just trying to sell you that mine is the best. It's because that I've done all the processes. I've done the watering cans. I've done the bug sprayers. I've done the firebowl method, all of them. And then I did this method and was mind blown on just the fact of why it's called a detailed acid wash is because it's controlled. It's so controlled that it really is the best of the best process when it comes to acid washing. So if you're a pool guy out there and you're doing acid washing and you're not doing our process and you're going around saying that you're providing the best process with what you do, unfortunately, you're not telling the truth. Because the case is you're not providing the best process, and that our process that we do is the best process for all pools, whether it's new interior or existing interior. This is how an acid wash should be done. Now, with that being said, if you do these acid washes this way, then you can start applying microglass. And that technology will make your interiors longer, last more longevity for your homeowners, which makes you look good and also really sets you up on that bar that you are doing the best of the best. And not just trying to get in and out of jobs to fill your pockets as fast as possible. Provide a top tier quality product and get paid from that. 100%. Not the little fast in and out type jobs where it's not doing it. Like, get in on it. What is the importance of neutralizing interior? And how many people do it? Like, reality.
Okay, so I'll answer that greatly because I have had to change my whole speech from this, throughout my career. All right. So I've only, since the day I got in this industry, I'm a big pebble guy, right? So they're all acid washed, right? So until I really and I'll say this is where I should have probably paid more attention to my career, right? I'm a chemistry dude. So I come to see all these acid washes, great jobs. Never really understood how important bicarb really was as far as neutralizing acid, right? But I had the same training as most, like we all did, but we have to progress, right? So early on it was, well, pressure wash your pools, make sure you stop that acid. Well, you still have acid in your ITZs. Your ITZs are your inner transitional zones where calcium hydroxide lives. Right? So your pressure washer may get 90% of it, she didn't get it all,
you still
right? Because it's still
eating.
eating, as we say, right? It's still eating that cement. So why do we see a little bit different color on steps and shallow ends than we do the deep end? Because it's the last thing to get water, right? And you've heard me say this in my classes, I think every pool should have set and cure microglass in it. But even if it doesn't, bicarb your pools. Stops the acid process.
Exactly.
Now you're going to see a better result once it's full. Because 10, 20, 30 hours later, time the steps get water, what if there was 1%, even 1% acid in there? You're etching. Bicarb,
and
stop
you're
the problem.
Weakening that interior no 100%. Matter what. So it goes away from longevity. Like a lot of these people, again, we remodel, we build pools, and especially on the remodel side, we want the remodels to come in, but not at the expense of that we didn't do the proper stuff before. Like it should just be a natural thing that pools need to be remodeled over time because, like we said, microglass isn't the cure-all. You don't put microglass on your pool and then 50 years later you'll never have to remodel your pool. That's just not the case. But will it make it last longer? Yes, it will last longer. As long as you take care of it properly.
Still,
right?
That's very
we'll get
important.
right into that, because people tend to forget that pools are a luxury. And I know we run into that. I feel we run into that a lot in Arizona because so many people are from other states in Arizona that before they move here, they already, because all they know is that Arizona is hot as fuck, and in the summer, you have to have a pool or you might die. Right. So then in their mind, they believe a pool is a necessity. And so then it's treated like a necessity, which people will do shortcuts on necessities because they have to have it. Right. And it's wrong. That's the wrong mindset, because a swimming pool is 1000% a luxury and has to be treated as a luxury.
Sure.
When you buy a Ferrari, you can't take that Ferrari to the Honda dealership to get a fucking oil change.
Sure.
It will ruin the car. You have to take it to the Ferrari dealership and get an oil change, and it costs a hell of a lot more
Sure.
because you bought a luxury vehicle.
Sure.
And that's what we want people to understand, you know? So getting into the simple things, neutralize your fucking shells.
Well, and like you said right there too, you know, about the longevity, right? I've seen pebbles that are 10 years old that look phenomenal, but the pigment's still not the same,
Yeah, it's gone.
right? It's starting to release a little bit.
Yeah.
Still looks great. Still structure looks amazing. Rock is still there. But if you put it back to that original sample side by side, it's not going to look the same, right? So longevity isn't just your rock hold or your pigment or what it's all of it.
All together.
You know, that's kind of where microglass really is done such a phenomenal job of the product of holding that color in, holding that strength in, right? What does longevity mean to you? It's kind of that theory going down that rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With microglass, what would you say? I don't know about you, but like the team as itself, what are their expectations of where they see themselves in 5 to 10 years from now? Do you guys even talk about that stuff on?
We have such an amazing team. I mean, the knowledge in this company of the team that this company has developed and the team they have put together, it's incredible.
Or maybe just the process of growing it heavier on the West Coast, because microglass is pretty strong in the Midwest and East Coast, correct?
Sure.
You know, so maybe that's the goal, is to strengthen it over on this side.
Sure.
Given why I'm a part of it, right? You know,
Absolutely.
West Coast, we're gonna bring it in microglass.
Absolutely. You know, and you know, the company started in Florida, still there today, right?
Yeah.
So getting it out there across everybody, like I said, we try to touch as many people, but if you look at any of our social media anywhere, you see all of our team at shows, you see us all together, you see the camaraderie we have, right? So it's just growing that of the knowledge part first, really. What does the product even do?
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing we all need to understand. What does it do?
Yeah.
Right?
And let
then
people
how do you
know that
use
it's
it?
not a sealant. You know, like a lot
Very
of people
true.
get caught up in saying, you know, calling it a sealant, where it's not that, because it's, I like to for homeowners, it's easy for them to understand. I give them an analogy of, you know, they've heard of ceramic coating cars.
Sure.
You know, it's the same concept. Difference is, though, ceramic coating cars is a sealant, and it sits on top, where this doesn't sit on top. And, you know, maybe go in depth of making sure they understand that it's not a sealant. And if you are a pool pro and you're trying to sell this, to make sure that you're not using those words.
100%. I mean, that's a great, you know, the car ceramic thing, we use that a lot, right? Same thing with laminate floors. Did you put a good pad underneath there? Why did you do that, right? You're protecting your investment, really is what we're doing, right? So I think with that, it is, it's a little bit more of paying attention to what's your end result, right? What are you trying to get out of it, right? So sealers, there could be phenomenal sealers out there, right? They can be everywhere, right? But the difference with our product is cement still has to hydrate, right? You still want it to hydrate. That's important. It's important for its longevity.
Still has to breathe.
Still has to breathe, right? So with our product, again, you're not sealing anything. You're converting the molecular structure. You're changing the weakest to the strongest. You and I have talked about this multiple times, also on our webpage. There was, you've heard of this, of the Mohs hardness scale. You and I have gone on this a lot, right? Calcium hydroxide is the same strength as our fingernail. On Mohs hardness scale, that's a 3. You convert that to a calcium silicate hydrate, you're a 72 on the Mohs hardness scale.
Yeah.
That's tremendously different.
Yeah.
Tremendously stronger.
Yeah. It's not just a couple points, right?
It's, correct. It affects a lot of things, from the interior finish from brand new to startup to the longevity.
What would you tell a guy that listens to this, decides to not call anybody to learn about it, and just goes and wings it and starts trying to add this to their pools?
I wouldn't, I wouldn't suggest that in any aspect of any job ever. We got to learn a little bit, right? Anything you do,
right?
Anything,
but you know
right?
the industry, right?
Sure.
A lot of guys don't want to invest in themselves, and they'll be the type that the get shit done mentality,
Sure.
and they'll just go and buy it, and they'll just figure it out.
Sure.
So tell me, like,
you
what
can
would
run
that-
into some problems that
Right.
way, but here, even though you can run into some problems that way of anything we do, the great part is that I think the biggest thing that I see out there is either over application of our product, right? Or it wasn't prepped, all the way, meaning the acid wash wasn't probably
right for the spray
possibly
and
done all the way, right? So, but the flip side of that coin is 99% of the time it's still fixable.
roll.
You can still fix it. It may be a lot of work to fix it, but meaning polishing it off. Maybe, there's small things, but that's still a great thing because it still can be fixed in most cases.
Right. Now,
Right.
say that same guy, it can be fixed, but he didn't go through the channels of being trained by somebody that is certified by you guys, or you feel that is comfortable to train,
Sure.
or taught by Microglass. How will that work on, like, say, a warranty side? So I went and got this stuff. I went and did an acid wash like I always do,
Sure.
with the watering can. And I didn't neutralize the pool. I didn't do all this stuff. And then I went ahead and sprayed on it, and my pool turned white, because I don't know what I'm doing. And I can call you guys because I used your product. Are you going to come out here and back me and help me fix everything? Or are you going to, you'll do what you can, but it's not a warranted job is
Right.
what I'm getting at.
Right. I mean, you could call anybody that's connected to Microglass in any instance, and we're going to help.
You're going to get help.
We're going to get
Right.
help somewhere on the phone. Typically we'll walk anybody through anything we can. You've seen my phone all day long. It just blows up like yours, right? The whole team does. But being in everybody's backyard, I'd love to say, yep, we'll be in every backyard. That's not reality, right? It's just not. So I think, like you were getting at, it's the education. Take a minute, learn a little bit, talk to other people. This product is spread across this whole nation, even outside of our nation, right? We've gone to multiple countries that have purchased this product from us but it's learning a little bit about it first, just like anything else. Like you said with the Ferrari, you just don't go build a Ferrari, don't work on the motor.
Right.
Right. But if you were a Ferrari mechanic, wouldn't be a bad thing for you. But you didn't just become a mechanic. You had to get the education to become that mechanic. Right. Same thing of what we're doing. I would always push, do some research, go to our website, talk to your pool industry around you. It's out there. You've heard of it. All right. Do some research, try to help yourself really more than anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like you were saying with people that, $2,000 take a class is a lot. It's not.
No.
Because you're paying, that money goes right back to you.
Yeah, you sell one job and you double your investment off the first job, not 20 jobs.
Correct.
The first job,
Correct.
you will double your investment in yourself. Right. So it's, to me, right, of course it's easy, people watching will be like, well, yeah, of course it's easy for him to say because he's the one getting paid to do it. I'm basically giving this shit away for free. At the prices that I am, because that first job, like I said, you double your investment immediately. And even if you don't sell Microglass with it and you do our process in acid washing, not only are you providing the best process to do it, but you're also showing that you have more value. With that, you should be charging more because your value has gone up, and you can show why it's gone up through your process. Anyone that sees us in a backyard doing acid washes now clearly know, be like, wow, these guys were here for a long time. Their setup was completely different. There's tarps on our deck. There's all this stuff. Everything is protected. I see them switching shoes when they come out, because if you're going to get out of the pool and go walk the deck, all my guys have to bring slip-on shoes so you can slip off your work boots, put on your slip-ons, go to your truck, do whatever you need to do. When you get back to the tarp, you put your shoes back on, you walk into my pool, because two things, right? We're not contaminating what we're doing, and you're not bringing in dirt from the other places of the job that we just worked on.
Or wrecking their deck walking across it with acid on
our shoes, right? So it's just, like raising the bar in this industry as a whole is what really lights me up,
Right.
and where my passion is at is literally and why we're going into this education process from our acid washes, and then we'll dive more into everything that's pool related, so that guys can really put themselves on a level where they can truly call themselves professionals.
Sure.
Because lots of guys call themselves pool professionals when in reality they're just pool guys or pool girls, because nothing that they do is on a standard where they'll stand by it and only do this. Where, like, for us, like, there's lots of things we won't do and we won't touch because it's not on our level. So if you want us to come and do some work for you, I got to come rip it out.
Sure.
And it's hard to do with that process because, sometimes we're like, man, we need a job, we need to get some money in, but this stuff doesn't fit, and I can't just come in here and finish out a job for a customer just to make him happy. Because at night I know that I did not provide them with a longevity product, and I'm not okay with selling it just to put a check in my pocket.
Sure. And backing up a little bit from what you just said, you can ask me, you can ask, your old school guys like Josh.
Yeah.
Ask Josh how long it takes to do an acid wash. You know what his answer is going to be? Until it's done right.
Yeah.
He's not going to put a time on it.
No.
Because he's done it forever, and he's very OCD about getting it correct.
Sometimes it's 3 hours. Sometimes it's 6.
Could be all day. I've sold jobs back in the days when I was a sales part for a company, that Josh owned, and they were there. Got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night with floodlights.
Yeah.
Right. That the homeowner brought out for him because he's not going to leave until it's done right. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think we need to be honest with ourselves too about that. Of like, hey. If I'd probably do this one in 2 hours. And then it throws you a curveball.
Yeah.
Oh, that wall's a little bit hollow. Got to be careful there. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's things that you put a time limit on it, you're almost setting yourself up to fail a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The time limit on is when it's right.
Yep.
And that's the key, I think, in everything we do.
Yeah,
for
absolutely. Sure. So we've talked a lot about microglass. I want to just a little bit tap into you.
Okay.
Like, what is it that lights you up, whether it's in the pool industry or it's in life? I would like to just see, or people that are watching this, kind of get an idea of what Tom is about, because I absolutely love you. You're a great dude, one of the best people that I've met in the
Appreciate it.
I think we've known each other maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, somewhere around there. It's not a long time,
right.
But in that moment that I met you, I was like, I love this dude. You come with integrity, you have accountability, you're always there to help. So I would love for people to see that, what kind of person you are and what lights you up to be that person, right?
Yeah. I think it's learning, what really does it for me is leaving a backyard with someone like you and many people like you I've got to meet to shake my hand and just go, hey man, thank you.
Yeah.
This was game changing for me. Even if it was only one spot, one little thing, same thing I was getting to at classes.
Yeah.
You're not there to grasp 100% of it. You literally learn one thing minimum. Right. So what really drives me is getting to meet good people, but 2, knowing that I got to help them and teach them something. And that truly has always driven me.
Yeah.
In a lot of things in my life. Right. From a marriage to friendship to work to, it's how can I help somebody? It gives me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
I can honestly say the team that's been developed by this company, we all have that outlook. Mm-hmm. You're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, right? Mm-hmm. And helping people is such a joy. It truly is. I think that's the outlook that I've always had.
Yeah, I feel that. Again, we talk about this stuff too, and that's where my passion is. Like, I love the industry that I'm in. I love that opportunity that it brought to me in my early days when, we started my company with nothing, right?
Sure.
We lost everything. We lost our home. We lost our cars. We lost everything.
Right.
And, I started this Stay Fresh Pools in 2010 with a Trailblazer, and it was our one family vehicle. and our pool vehicle.
Right.
You know, so
makes things a little hard.
It makes things real hard because all the chemicals are kept in the back. I wasn't even smart enough that you could put a trailer on the back like I see guys now with their little electric cars, and they're getting it done. Sure. You know, but like we did that, and it gave me the opportunity to get into this industry that I love. But my passion has grown so much is that I want to help. I want to educate people, and I want them to be better. I know that a lot of people in the industry may think that they value themselves, but when I see how they run their companies, I see the opposite. And it's not a negative, and it's not a shot at them. It's actually the opposite, is that I know that they deserve more, and they deserve to be on this higher level. How many times have you heard a pool guy rant and rave about, no, there's no industry like us that wears so many hats, from electricians to engineers to chemists to concrete specialists to GCs. Like, these are all hats that you can wear inside this industry if you're a true professional.
Sure.
You know, so, but you can't go around yelling this stuff if you don't do it and you don't put in the time to learn it. Because there's lots of things out there that provide teachings and lessons through it, from our reps to courses and classes, and, you know, people like myself that are trying to get out there and show people. And these guys just love to be in their same rut, and not wondering why they can never get better, or they can't grow, or they can't make more money. And, you know, like, what would you say to somebody that comes around saying that kind of stuff to you, that you know they're pitching that they wear these hats, but they don't wear the hats?
You know, I think it's relative to every industry and everything in life, right? It's the same thing. I think in our industry, clearly, if you're in this industry, you got some competitiveness in you, right? Yeah. So, again, one of the kind of tying back into what you're saying about what drives me is it's the challenges too, right? I am a competitive guy. I like to be challenged, right? Yeah. It disappoints me if I don't accomplish a challenge, but you got to move forward and challenge yourself. You got to keep challenging yourself, right? And I think some of that is another thing that drives you, guys like me, guys like you. I got to challenge myself to get better. So a lot of these guys is, you know, or anybody that would ask me that question is, you know, I would lead that in with the same thing you lead it in with is, what have you done to get a little better? Have you done anything? Where can I help? And like you said, that's not necessarily a negative question. Like, what have you done?
Yeah, it's not right.
That.
Right.
It's more of, what have you done so I can help you build on that.
Exactly.
What have you done, right? So there's a little bit of that, I would say, too, of, you know, we all have to get our way. I'm no exceptions. There's times, right, Tom, you just got to get out of your own way a little bit, right? Yeah. It's everybody. We all have to do that. It's easier said than done sometimes, even with myself.
Yeah.
But you got to, it's which way you want to lean.
Yeah, most things are easier said than done. And that's why we have to keep telling ourselves and doing, right? Sure. And with that, I'll ask you, what's one word that that describes your mindset for this year?
Driven.
I like that. Yeah. I can feel the same, you know, like,
you got to be driven.
I mean, putting your blinders on and going for whatever those dreams are.
Sure.
And if your dreams are something that's small and easy to accomplish, then I would say go back to the drawing board and start thinking of things that are bigger. Because if it's something that you can easily make happen, then you deserve more.
Sure. Well, and how do you want to, you know, and
how can you excel if you're making simple challenges?
I mean, I think, you know, it's I think part of that too is how do you want to leave your legacy?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, for me, you know, when it's my time to hang it up in the pool industry, I want to, you know, I've always been driven to know that guy did it right. You know, maybe not 100%. Doesn't mean I'm mistake free. Doesn't mean any of us are, right?
Yeah.
But it's that guy helped. He did the right thing. That's what drives me. You know, of trying to help somebody, trying to get them to that point if I can. Yeah. Right? Can't make you drink water, but I can lead you to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of that mentality, right?
Yeah.
And it's that's really what keeps those boots going on every single morning, right?
Yeah, what's biggest lesson that you've learned for 2025?
Biggest lesson I've learned. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year, especially because it's been slow across for us all, right?
Yeah,
Across the
yeah.
nation, it's been really slow in our, not just in the pool industry, in our economy.
Yeah,
I think the biggest lesson I've learned is you can't solve every problem.
that's right.
I can't solve every problem,
Yeah.
right? Nobody can,
Yeah.
right? But if I have any insight where I can, I'm all in for you.
Yeah,
Right. And I think that's just got to be more, not only realistic to the people I talk to, but being realistic to that to myself.
yeah.
Right. I can't control everything
No,
because
not
you
at
know
all.
me long enough. I got to try to control it. Got to try to control
Yeah,
it. You
it's
know, and I have,
hard.
and that's not a good thing from me, but
No.
it is reality.
Mhm.
Right. So just paying attention to that more and more and more. It may take a little longer than someone would like to accomplish that, but you just got to keep going to accomplish that. And learning a lot of different markets has been the big thing for me,
Yeah,
right? I mean, I come from the greater Sacramento area, right? If I go to a state and you're getting $14,000 for remodel, we would have got 25, you know, but it's just different, different
And
way people
understanding
do stuff. It's different everywhere we go.
yeah. The way Arizona does it compared to California.
Correct. Or
Right.
even Nevada
Yeah.
or, you know, the
Yeah.
East Coast. It's all relative, right? So I think the biggest thing is seeing that,
Yeah,
you know, and trying to wrap your head around it and move forward with it.
yeah. Not everything needs fixing, but everything could use improving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know we went through everything
Sure.
here. I don't know what else, except for I can sit here and bullshit with you all
Yeah,
day,
yeah. We
you
can do
know?
this for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
We'll order pizza.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna get dinner tomorrow. I appreciate you coming on here today for our Stay Fresh Pool's first podcast episode with my man Tom Criz. And like I said, his name is Tom Criz. He's the real Tom Cruise. We got Mission Impossible in here today. So,
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate, meeting guys like you and watching your success. Again, it's that driven part, right?
Yeah.
Seeing other people succeed as great as they have and willing to do that, it's a joy.
yeah,
And we need more of that from all of us.
yep. And I said to you earlier, and you were like, "Oh man, I like that." And it's like I said, one of my favorite quotes by Napoleon Hill, and it's I don't chase success, I am success.
Yeah.
I don't chase greatness because I am greatness.
Sure.
And if you can continue to tell yourself that, and you can work towards doing things with purpose every day, you'll see when you look in the mirror that you are success and that you are greatness, whether your bank account's there yet or not.
Sure.
You know?
You know, there was funny you say that because there was a line that stuck with me early on in my 20s in my early sales career when I first started in sales in 1998. Right, when I first really was full-time sales, really getting after it. There was a line that stuck with me. If you're not moving forward, you're standing still.
Yep. Yep.
That stuck with me ever since then
Yep.
because it's true in everything we do in life.
Yep.
Not moving forward, you're just standing there.
That's right.
Right?
Yep. Movement is life.
Absolutely.
You know? So you want to hide under a rock? Well, guess what? Under that rock is where you die.
Yeah.
Um,
And anything.
That's right. I appreciate you, brother.
Right on,
Love you,
man.
man.